we have any public comment, Kate?
Don't have anybody registered.
All right, correspondence. I don't believe there was anything in our packet for public correspondence, was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the consent agenda, which I believe includes meeting minutes from last board meeting, and I believe we also have Chief Sanchez I think we have bank register report.
So you have everything I have for you guys. We can discuss cash flow if you'd like. We'll go over that, and then the couple checks. You guys had that in your board packet?
Yes. Thank you for that.
So I know before it was discussed about the checks and your check signing and stuff, but ever since we've done some revamping, the checks paid and the cash flow, which I'll show you and I'll bring up, that is either under $10,000 in standard stuff we've been doing. Anything new you will see and you will get, just like for instance, when I brought the resolution to you from Microsoft Office last board meeting. Since then, they were requesting that we renew for $26,000 at this point to give you an example of the savings and the cuts we've made with the chief and Chief's Mike. We've only paid about 5 of that and we've cut it down from our users. Same thing goes with Vector Solutions, which is Target Solutions, which we normally pay every year. That's a program that we use for training and stuff. That was up around 11. Now we're only paying 7,000 and change. So below the 10. So we're saving money. That's the new check, but that's something we've been paying for a year just to keep up with our training hours. If you'd like me to go over the cash flow with you a little bit more, I can do that. Take care of this.
Sorry? Sorry?
Just skip into new business, we get that right here.
Yeah, we can skip. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can skip to that if you want. That's probably easy.
It's up to you guys.
Are you ready?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
We got the floor.
Oh,
So I know there were some questions about it. Hopefully we can do this. This nice new smart board we got was awesome. Specifically, Kim, one of the things you asked the other day about revenue and stuff and everything that we got coming in, everything that comes into our bank accounts, when you go into our financial edge system and we're talking about what we used beforehand and before I got here, in order for me to give you those numbers and to print a balance sheet from that right now, we're working on that. We're putting that together. That's going to be fixed here shortly from past practice and other people. Everything will be matching. This is the most accurate account of our finances. Everything that you get from EMS revenue in here, from Opticom, Aetna, EMS Technology, Loyal Health, Palmetto, GBA, all of it comes in here. Everything I get from every statement from each month, I go line by line and I put it into our cash flow.
The only one I see that I have a problem with is probably, I'm sorry, I don't have mine open and anything is on. So you have Noridian, which if you don't know what Noridian is Medicare.
Yes.
And you're trying to tell me you got zero money from Medicare November 21st or November 2021?
So before I got here, that's only, so in that month, I can tell you that in that month before we transferred, that does not show up on our bank statements. That's what I can tell you, because this is me going directly to our bank account, to Bank of the West.
Well, you might want to call Noridian or
Yeah.
have somebody call Noridian because that is incorrect.
Is the iStream deposits up
Yeah,
there?
and then iStream deposits, yes, is more, which you'll see down here, but that doesn't qualify for November because you'll see that it didn't change. iStream didn't come until January, but iStream is also getting all of our revenue from EMS. So when we transferred over to Systems Design West, when did you do that?
Around that time, November.
Around that time, you'll see that these big deposits start coming in after that time and under iStream, and those are also EMS revenue.
I would just make sure because I'll tell you right now, some of your biggest payers you're gonna have in Columbia County is your Medicare, your ORDHS, which is DMAP, ODS, Community.
And you're,
Really, I'm surprised you get anything from them considering that's actually mode of Medicaid from Eastern Oregon.
Those are gonna be in the iStream deposits because those come in the way of.
which they're, yeah, some of them are in iStream, but the ORDHS is actually in there, and year to date, we've received 192,000 from them.
Well, just wait, because their payments will start picking up again.
So we're actually logging those payments and we're getting that as EMS revenue, which is great. So Systems Design West has, as we've checked and they've been providing us reports, they've been doing a great job of letting us know that, and I'm able to reflect this with line by line statements.
One thing that I want to go over with you, because it's caused some heartache that, we're going through, where's the? See. credit card one.
I mean, I'm
Oh, great.
not, I mean, I'm old and.
I can zoom in even more. I'll zoom in. even more.
They're doing that blowing up so they can see it like that.
Well, that's good, because I'm using his.
Where do you want to be? Okay, all right. This is what I want you, I want to go over and I want to make sure that everybody understands. Right here, for this month, you got 10,000, 10,000, 12,000, 9,000, 11,000. That's how much we were paying per month for credit cards. Now, the thing about credit cards is that that doesn't come to a particular line item. It's just a charge. Okay? We were footloose and fancy free, and look, it keeps going on. Now, the one variable is that in this month, you see only a $4,000 charge, right? That was the month that it got put out by our latest replaced financial advisor. But if you look at the very next month after that financial advisor left, it's 14,000. If you do 4 and 14 is 8. So we were averaging $9,000. We were averaging $9,000 to $10,000 per cost. Now, this right here, $10,000 is when Chief Sanchez got here. Okay? First thing he did was take credit cards. Mine was the first one he took. Now, we have gone from paying $10,000 a month to paying $3,382. And everything is accounted for and everything is completely transparent.
And if you don't have it accounted for, we have a letter of affidavit that you have to fill out and sign. That's required. That says if you don't, then you can even be held liable up to termination if we can't.
Yeah, so the only thing that
We didn't have that. You just got away with charging whatever you got.
the one thing that I'm just trying to kind of like cover with everybody is because I know that there's been some board members that have made some comments about what's the deal with the credit cards. Because I mean, I don't know why, but that's why we had to do what we had to do. Okay?
The other thing about the cash flow, any more questions? No. The other thing about the cash flow analysis for us is that, actually, I'll go to this. This chart, as you can see on the background, right now, we happen to be in November, right? This is when we start receiving our tax money and stuff. This is the annual trend that we normally have, right? So September, October, we wait for the finances to start. This meeting happens to be 8 days after I get the statements, and then I go into it. So by the end of the week, I can actually produce you October's, but this is what we get. I wait for everything to be pending. You'll see this bar is even lower as in October. It's going to be lower, I'm telling you right now. But now we're going to start receiving that tax flow money. So this is just to go with you as this is the most accurate picture I could argue that you've ever had of our budget, because this is line by line with the statements for the last, I even have 13 months up here of what we have going on. I have everything accounted for that came in and everything that accounted for that went out. The checks paid column, if you guys were looking at that in terms of the checks paid, the reason why you have the checks paid column at the top is various accounts is if I listed every single check that went out for those months, a lot of it's utilities, it's our normal stuff like Target Solutions was a check. The stuff that was under $10,000, I gave you that resolution. That's all stuff we continue to pay that hasn't changed. If something does change, I bring it to you, like Microsoft Office was brought to you. The Vector Solutions, that didn't change. We actually brought it down below the $10,000 mark. So that brings you, we've been paying for it for years. The other things that we're working on, the new contracts, you'll know about them, especially if it's up higher. We dropped, we're working on Verizon, our cell phone accounts right now too. We brought that down because there's too many users. We have 89 employees, for instance. No, we don't have 89 employees, but there's 89 accounts out for some reason. I can't tell you why. Somebody signed up for 89 accounts. They're paying for 89 accounts for Verizon cell service. It's crazy. So we brought that down as well. That's reflecting in here. So the checks, if you guys want to look at some checks and stuff over the $10,000 marks, I can provide them if you want beforehand. Just ask me. I would be happy to give them for you. It's just our normal utilities, our normal stuff.
So the only question I've got is is there any rhyme or reason to the organization of the checks paid in terms of that list? Is there anything, are they grouped in any way? I mean.
They're just grouped, the way that they're grouped right now in this manner, if they're over the $10,000, something like that, I will set it aside and you'll see that. You guys will know because your signatures, you have to approve it. But the way that this is just the checks that are paid and they're showed as in a debit account in our account. And it's just the sums are totaled and then that's put in there.
But you're not putting, for example, employee-related stuff there or office-related stuff or anything like that. There's no organization for this like that.
No, not right now. Not, that is going to be further delineated when we'll have each line item and everything further delineated come January.
Okay, so we'll get more in January.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What we're looking for is this.
We'll be getting this every month, but you're saying a different sort of arrangement in January.
You're gonna get even more detailed as we continue to reconcile these books and everything and put them where everything needs to go. Yes.
We're gonna match up some of the numbers so that when you get a check, you're also gonna get a line item for it. So let's say you get a check and it has number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna be able to look at the budget at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and see where we started, see how we spent it, and see what's left. And all the numbers are gonna all match up. Hopefully, I mean, that's the goal for us to get there, where everything matches up and any normal human being can look at it and figure out what it is.
You'll know how much the percentage of the year is left, how much percentage of the budget for that particular line item is left, and you'll have that right stacked on top of each other that you'll be able to see. Is that a better example of the cash flow for you guys?
Any questions for Chief Sanchez?
Oh, I'm on top of them. I count every penny.
Trust me, some of them are sneaky. I'll give you that. I've got some really great ones that work.
I can tell you since they made a decision to go System Designs West, our AMS revenue has gone up significantly. So that was a really good choice. I can tell you that from numbers alone.
Okay, there's no more questions, then we still have not approved the consent agenda, so let's circle back to that. Really just have, on the consent agenda, we just have the meeting minutes, and then, okay, and Jim, did you sense you haven't like, we did talk about this. Great. Is there a motion? Second. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? 5-0, motion carries.
No, I did not vote, mistake. I wasn't even at the meeting, but I did, it's correct.
Pardon me. 4 approvals and 1 abstention. Okay. That's no, thank you for pointing that out. Next, Chief Officer report.
Well, let me just say that, these are happy times for this administration right now. We're all happy and enjoying the fact that it looks like we've gotten to the point where we've overturned enough stones that I don't think that we're in line to find any more Easter eggs or surprises. Things are going well. I can tell you that we just had that, probably one of the largest fires that has happened in Columbia County in decades with the Columbia Hills issue. Everybody performed to their utmost. The concern that I had with that was the fact that we had 1 or 2 volunteers show up. Okay. I can tell you that our volunteer numbers have gone down, but volunteer numbers have gone down for agencies all across the United States. It is no different. I just know that, I was approached by, I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying it, by Kerry Wacker, and he asked for a meeting and he sat down and he actually asked me how I feel about the volunteer program. And so I told him, I was like, listen, I do believe that the volunteer program is the core essence of what this department is and where it comes from. I'm 100% supportive of the volunteer program. And as such, we're going to be taking steps to make sure that we focus and do our utmost to enhance that program and provide different things for different people to be able to contribute back to the community as they see fit. Now, I can tell you to the extent that we are going to be setting up metrics and different indicators that allows us to measure the effectiveness of the recruitment that we take. Okay, and the actions that we take towards recruiting and retaining new volunteers. It's something that we take very seriously, and it's very close to my heart, and whatever we can do to enhance that, we are. We're probably gonna be doing some EMS only volunteers because we have volunteers that wanna do just EMS. We're gonna be doing some different things like that to have different people be able to volunteer. Of course, there's basic things that you have to have, you guys know, CPR, EMR, which is like a basic first aid. That's just a basic level. And then we're looking to have like non-entry volunteers, which is volunteers don't necessarily make entry into fire. So we can kind of like curve it. And that, but the fire at Columbia Hills, was very, very eye-opening for, our capabilities. And I think it was handled as well as we could have. I commend the initial incident commander on scene, which remained the commander on scene, which was Chief Mike Gorsuch. I believe he did an outstanding job. I can tell you this though, within the first 4 minutes, he had 5 people besides himself on scene, and I happen to have been one of them. So I mean, it isn't like he did what he did with what he had at best, and I think that we did an outstanding job managing that. We also have a graduation coming up. The graduation will be tomorrow Thursday at Warren Community Fellowship. And that's a graduation for the individuals that we hired that are going through the academy and the recruit program. Okay, again, the goal, I'm going into my 3rd year now here with this organization. And as I told you in the past, my goal is I got 10 more years that I want to do, and I want to do them here. So to those ends, we're gonna set now, I'm in the process of meeting with different people in the staff, because I'm in the process of setting key performance indicators that are gonna evaluate the efficacy of the actions that we take with set metrics, so that we can actually start looking at the things that we do and how effective they are towards the overall success of the organization. That's about it for the officer's report, unless you guys have any questions.
Could you talk some more about the ASA? It's under EMS here.
Yes.
Hand it up for that.
I'd like to sort of the floor for the ASA to Chief Halsey, even though he's probably gonna be surprised by it, but Chief Halsey, Chief Boxman, and Chief Marks have been doing an outstanding job. We've had a few county commission meetings on the ASA, and all the fire chiefs in Columbia County have attended to support what Chief Halsey, Chief Boxman, and Chief Marks are doing. But to that, I'll surrender the floor to Chief Halsey. Chief Halsey?
Yeah, actually, I got a pretty quick update. It was pretty exciting news. So, actually, as of today, I received a letter extending our ASA contract for the next 12 months. So, we're definitely good for the next year. I'm still working with Fitz and Associates on the ASA plan development. Chief Marks and I have been in contact with them. We had a pretty nice meeting with Commissioner Garrett, kind of explaining to him what new metrics will look like on how to deal with patient indicators, and as we move our ASA plan into the future, and how to help guide them there. So we're hoping that collaboration continues between us and the county. Chief Marks and I and Chief Boxman, we're doing a pretty good job trying to ensure that they're collaborating with us and not leaving us out in the dark. But we're continuing on that project, and that's an update at this point.
So why only a year? Why not just approve it? What's their concern?
Sure. So the year is for the extension. So when we get a new ASA plan, that has to go into the state for ratification. And then once that comes back, we'll have to reapply as organizations to be awarded contracts. And so the extension is allowing for that plan development time, and then enough time to get that to the state for ratification, and then back to us so we can apply like we normally would at the end of each ASA period.
Basically, the county has to come to a consensus that they agree on the ASA that are gonna submit to the state. And they're not willing to do that until they get the full report and make a decision as to what the evaluating agency has done.
Questions for the chiefs?
On training, it says the live fire training is on November 10th. Where's that gonna be? What time? What is it?
I'll let, Chief Mandola go ahead and address that.
Live fire already took place as of yesterday. November 10th is the graduation. We're having that at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you. I was gonna ask that same question.
Then the other one is the third bullet, recruits from Academy 22-3 are required to complete 120 hours of FCAB training during the remainder of November. So they have to put in 120 hours of training in the remainder of November?
No, what they're having to do is finish up the required call volume that is necessary and skill set in order to finish up their EMS training. Unfortunately, in the month of August, when we started them for their 4 weeks of FTEP, they did not achieve those numbers because we had a dip in call volume that was significant at that time, just the case of the numbers. So they're gonna be sent out after graduation to achieve that. We're estimating about 120 hours of shift work to get those numbers and get them all ahead so they can start doing the full probationary firefighter year and finishing up their training as firefighters. And then they'll be able to act as EMTs and medics on the transport units during that time as they finish that training on the MS end.
Thank you.
Questions for the chiefs? Okay. All right then. Then we'll move into, the old business, which is the administrative building update and presentation. Right here.
So thanks for having me tonight, you guys. I'm looking forward to this. Been putting a lot of work into the admin upgrades. It's gonna be quick and painless, not like our medic presentation, okay?
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So the exterior improvements, we had a couple old doors on the building that we removed. I don't know if you remember them. There was one by the electric meter and the other one off the conference room. Both of those have been removed and sealed up with block, like they never existed. We put new vinyl windows in, commercial grade windows. All the old windows have been removed. We painted the exterior of the building. And there's the interior view of that door we removed out of the conference room. All the exterior walls have been furred out, insulated, allowing us to run our electrical and low voltage through our studs. So everything's gonna be hidden. Exterior of the building here, we removed the shrubs in the parking lot. We've been working with the neighbor. The neighbor's a great guy. He wanted to see us remove the shrubs as well because it was overgrowing on his property. So we removed those shrubs and we're gonna put in a cedar fence on the property line here, and neighbor's thrilled. So just being a good neighbor. Drilling the post holes. New ducting throughout the building. The HVAC system on the building tested great. We didn't have to replace the HVAC system, didn't have to spend that money. But what we did do is put new ducting throughout. Every office has ducting now, new returns. So the building's gonna heat and cool as like it should, like a building should.
Will there be thermostats for each room or one general thermostat?
What was that, Gary? Or?
Is thermostats, is it one for each room or just?
No,
in general?
it's just one thermostat for that building. Yeah, it would have cost a significant amount to do a mini split through that entire building. The only additional HVAC unit in that building will be the mini split for the server room. And right here, you can see this is where the server room's gonna be. This is all the low voltage going to that server room. This office building is gonna be quiet. We're not gonna be able to hear each other talk or breathe in the next office, right? That was a real problem with the old building. You could not have a private conversation in there at all. So, we're using resilient channel, which is metal metal lath strips that run horizontal. Those screw into a stud. They're bumped out. They have an angle to them. They bump out. Then your rock screws to that resilient channel. That allows you to mount your rock on that channel without touching the rock to any of your wood. So no screws go through the rock into the wood. It creates a barrier. And the way that resilient is engineered, it blocks sound. We're also using rock wool on every wall. Every wall in the structure is going to be insulated with rock wool. And rock wool is also fire resistant. So, you know, we're not going to have an issue with fire. Not only that, but we're using 5/8 rock on every wall throughout this building. So we are not going to have sound transfer. That was very important to us when we were putting this together.
Yeah, you got allows people in the department.
I know it was a battle putting this together because we brainstormed a lot, trust me. The only thing we could have done on top of all this is used, they call it green silicone, green adhesive that you can put on every touching surface. It's basically just like a silicone type, you know, substance. So this building is going to be extremely energy efficient. You can see this this is the conference room that you're looking at right here. Again, insulation all the way up. What you're not seeing on any of these pictures is the lid. So we're going to have a drop down ceiling, right? It's going to come down about a foot. So our ceiling is going to be a little bit lower, but it's much more cost effective to throw that drop down ceiling in. And you can see the rocks going up. There's a lot of windows in the offices, a lot of windows in the conference room, 2 entrances to the conference room, 1 on each side, each hallway. I think you guys are really gonna like the way it's put together. There's plenty of electrical outlets in every office. About every 6 feet, we have an electrical outlet, a lot of low voltage lines in every office. The electrical has been upgraded throughout the building, all new low voltage. The electrical panel is a surge protected panel, which isn't code yet. Next year it probably will be. So we went ahead and threw that in. We did wire the exterior for a generator as well as a mobile command trailer. So should we have a big event and we want to park a command trailer down there and have power going, we can. The meeting room. You can see the meeting room here. This is the conference room. Our low voltage and electrical are going to come down this post. This post is going to be cased in. That's going to allow you to have your conference table, be able to plug in all your computers, everything right at your station. So you can have a fully functioning meeting. And that's it.
Completion date?
Mid-December is what we're shooting for. That's what we're shooting for. So I don't foresee any problems right now. We're making great progress.
Any issues with permits and inspections by the city?
No, the city's been great with inspections. The city, other than losing our plans at the beginning of this project, that was the only holdup. But we've made enough progress to catch up. So it's going
Fire
great.
marshal to sign up on this?
What's that?
In budget, how are we doing on budget?
We're doing great.
Okay, what does great mean? You know?
We're not gonna exceed budget on this.
We're not, yeah.
Okay,
That was the number 1 goal to have that not happen.
that's good for them. Getting accounting later.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we've already dealt with new business, so we're on to board members' comments. Yeah, one first.
No, I'd just like to say to everybody, so keep on keeping, yeah, I mean, I know it, you know, sometimes it seems like it's, snow and dragons, but it really isn't. We'll weather this, we'll go on. Believe it or not, we've been through some worse times than what you guys are going through. and became that hole on the other side, but keep on going on. Keep on going on, doing a good job. Thank you.
No, I'd like to say thank you to everybody sitting there. We get to sit here like this being kind of comfy, but it's the boots on the ground that are actually out there making us look good, and I appreciate that. I attended the Oregon Fire Service Conference in Hood River last weekend, and it was very good. I've got some handouts that I picked up. The board wants them. I think they're very interesting. I've got some other information from Oregon Governor's Ethics Commission. I'm going to print out. It talks about the ethics issue that affects elected officials, especially fire districts. SDAO has an EAP program that sounded very interesting. And we had Jason Jancy from SDAO did a discussion on PTSD in the fire service, and it was amazing the changes that have gone from cancer being number one to PTSD now being the number one issue in workman's comp. I'd like to invite him to come out to the county and talk to the fire districts. He had a great presentation, like I said, that talks about what's available. And I remember a few years back, we had a firefighter that was really adamant about PTSD in the fire service. I think that's a subject that we have to address sooner than later. And I would like to have Jason come out, to have the whole county come in and listen to him talk. He had a great presentation. I think the other thing is that WHA has a paid family and medical leave document that they had out. I think it might be interesting given what we've just discussed tonight. So I'll leave that for someone to look at. And with that, I'm done.
Okay, I don't think I have any comments for tonight. I think we're done, and we have made it in time.
We have some resolutions that we need to,
Okay, we do, and
yes.
they're not on the agenda.
No, the reason they're not on the agenda is because they were presented to us very late. A couple of them come from, an attorney and some things that we had to readjust. So they're not on the agenda. I apologize for that. But I can turn to the floor to Chief Sanchez and advise what the resolutions are.
Yes, let's move it along.
But just like he said, it came from the attorneys late. Some terms changed in the revolving line we talked about before.
Okay.
So that was updated from the attorneys. The fee actually came down. So that was great. So that was wonderful. And then the declaration of intent for the stand, this is the new law that came out for the Oregon plan. They're talking about if you guys would like to do that, we have to sign the resolution now that we'd like to do to go to the standard plan or the state plan. We will save up to $17,000 for employees, which is good, and $11,000 for the district if we go to the standard plan presented to us for the new Oregon Paid Family Leave Act that they're pushing on us by law. Like so,
So again, we have to have a letter of intent by November 30th.
by November 30th for that.
But the district is, you administration pushing towards
WHA,
everything.
absolutely. That's what we were recommending. And that's what this resolution is for.
That's it. That's the only two.
Just two.
So let's see, we have to do reading, I can't remember.
Yeah, can we see copies of these at all, or?
Yeah, you can copy them. The front's the same. Okay, this is just an example of the application. This is just to give the intent that we have to submit by then. That doesn't mean we can't change it, but we're intending to go to the standard plan versus the state plan. So that's not binding contract. It's just saying that you guys are intending to, for us, to be a cheaper option. Then this is something we've already done before, just some things change and we have to always check it over at it. So we wanted to make sure good housekeeping.
Okay, so from the perspective of the WHA plan, you need to vote anything, or is this, you do need to vote? Okay. So, do we want to, so Kelly, would you like to quickly do the read?
Sure.
Did you hold it?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to adopt, resolution for, it's, FY 22-23-18, declaration of intent to adopt the standard plan for an employer offered equivalent plan with the paid leave Oregon program.
Okay, motion made, second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? all those in favor? All right, all opposed? Motion carries.
I didn't vote.
Okay. Ready for Mark?
Oh, you're gonna do everything.
Yes, they are. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately.
Seen the same stuff.
It is the state, not us.
Yeah, there's no choice.
Yep.
If you're less than 25 people,
Yes.
they'll get to those folks later.
Correct.
So this doesn't mention anything about WHA.
So it's the standard plan directly. It's right now, we're not signing a contract. You're giving me the approval to go to ask for an equivalent plan. So I have to go to the state and ask for an equivalent plan. And then once they give me an approval, we can do the standard plan, but we'll go over that specifically when we get to that.
And that'll be a later approval.
That would be a later approval in detail.
Without a letter of intent, we automatically have to default to the state plan, which starts 1 January.
Yes.
This is to give you the approval to get that letter done by November 30th of our intent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Nothing
And
further.
we're not-
Nothing further.
And it goes to September before we have to complete the contract.
September of 2023.
Right,
Yes.
correct. We have plenty of time to get that contract,
Mhm.
all the details.
And budget it and
Yeah.
everything. So
And put it-
And then approve.
Yes.
Have a big sale.
So there's no fee you're not agreeing to finance anything at the moment.
Aye. Sir? Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, great. Very good. Or you want to do the Kim? She's good at.
Where do you want me to sign?
No, we have to.
We have to, better do this one, we're gonna let you do it, cause.
Okay, resolution FY 22-23-17 authorizing a tax anticipation borrowing for CFR District Oregon and related matters. Whereas the following is presented for authorization to the fire board directors of the Columbia River Fire and Rescue Department, herein referred to as CRFR, in a meeting held at 58611 McNulty Waste Handles, Oregon 97051 on this 11th day of October 2022.
So this is good housekeeping. We are the contingency plan we talked about before for that previous resolution. This is the new one. The lawyers got a hold of it too, so we're just good housekeeping on it. And it's literally if we need it. We're not asking for anything. It's strictly if we need it, in which case you'll know about it if we need it.
Motion made, is there a second? Second. Kelly seconds it. Any further discussion? Mark would like to see it. Wait for Mark to, lead this review.
They didn't sign it. Well, why didn't you sign it? You're handing it.
Aye. Okay, all those in favor of, motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0, motion carries. And
Separate them.
should next time. I know, we did. Okay. I know. That was what it's on. Back. Back.
Please. Go back to that one as well.
Is there anything else?
No, sir.
Not that I have.
Okay, then I think with that, we are officially done. So if I had something to hit, I would hit it.
Yeah, we
Just right there, just.
Expected though, there, Kelly, we had 5 children, to stick a giant sign in the yard. And I had to drive through all the things that were in Nile, over Nile, like over Nile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing, I'll take one. Thanks.
Very good conference.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
All right, got another one?